Hi, I'm Melissa Williams-Murphy, and welcome to Class at Home with the iWRITE organization. I'm here with my writing buddy, the Guy, who also happens to be the mascot at iWRITE, to get all of you inspired to create characters and stories. Each week, you're going to get to hear from authors and illustrators. Some of them are even kids. So be sure to grab your brainstorming notebooks, maybe even a sketch pad, and definitely a pencil or a pen, because your imaginations are going to soar as we create characters, illustrations, stories, and even some comics together each week at home. Now, if you need more resources, be sure to check out our website at www.iwrite.org. We have all kinds of creative writing and illustration activities for kids of all ages. We even have an annual publishing contest for kids to become professionally published authors and illustrators. So be sure to check us out. All right, the Guy, are you ready to meet some of our superstars? I thought so. Let's go ahead and see what all of the kid authors and illustrators are up to at iWRITE. Today is full of games, surprises, and even some wishes at the end. We'll be playing the Guy's favorite game, I Spy the Guy. There he is. Be counting every time the Guy pops up on the screen. So we're on number 1 right now. All right, are you ready for the next surprise? Okay, well, I don't want to give too much away, but illustrator Ryan Shaw is going to be doing something extra special with all the kids at home today. Let's pop in and see what he's up to right now.
Oh, hey there, illustrator Ryan Shaw here again, and you caught me reading a comic book. And not only do I love to read comic books, I love to make them also. So you guessed it, today we're going to go ahead and make your very own comic book. So follow along with me, grab your pencil, your eraser, and your ruler, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, now that we have our paper and pencil ready, the first thing you need to do before you even start drawing or sketching is you need to have your story written. So write yourself a nice short story, and in this case what we're doing is a one-page story for time. But what I'm doing here is I've already written my story out and I planned it out. I know that it's one page and there's going to be 7 scenes in this one page. So when you're writing your story, break it down in a page by page basis, and then you'll know how many scenes you need. And by scenes I mean panels. So these little panels I sketched out are just boxes. And now that I know what scene 1 is going to be the top left. We go from left to right and then top to bottom when you read comics. And then what I'm doing here is I'm sketching the Guy, and these are real loose, just rough sketches of where I want everybody placed. There's a letter J. These guys are in trouble because in my story here, all of the letters in the city have lost their eyeballs because of the villain, the letter U. He's jealous of how the other letters can use their eyeballs in ways that he can't. So he wants to take everybody else's eyeballs and their fun away from him. And of course, I, the guy, is a superhero, so he's not affected by it, so he's able to, you know, save the day. So here's letter U laughing about what he's done, and then above him I'm going to have I, the guy, doing different things with his eyeball that he's mad about in a thought bubble. And then right here in scene 3, what I'm doing is I'm sketching out I, the guy, you know, thinking about who could be doing this or who's up to this. It looks like a job for Super Eye. And then there he is, flying into action. See, I'm sketching it out. And the main thing is with your first step is to sketch super lightly. You don't want to have, you know, hard lines, because you might need to change the sizes of your panel. And then the next crucial step, which I'll show you after we're done sketching here, is creating sharp lines. You know, you're going to use a ruler, and you don't have to, but it helps, you know. And so here's letter U getting caught red-handed by I, the guy. And remember, this is a super short story. You can make your comic 8 pages if you want. You can make it 30 pages. It's up to you how creative you want to be. But just remember to divide up your scenes for every page. You know, write in your story page 1, page 2, and then, you know, maybe you have 5 scenes in that page. That's 5 boxes. So right there, they're shaking hands, and then the last panel, and then the very last panel I'm sketching out is letter U and I shaking hands. Now, I'm going to show you layovers of the final product. So right here is the rule, that's the final sketch. And then next is the ruler lines for the panel. And then I'm adding the ink lines with the color I'm going to use for each one. Then I add the text boxes where I'm going to add the bubble, you know, the text bubbles and the thought bubble. Then there's the full color. And then finally, all the words added in. So I hope you guys get a better understanding of comic books and what goes into making one. So I hope you guys had a lot of fun with this and you create tons of comic book stories this summer. And remember to stay safe and stay creative. Until next time, bye.
I love getting to see how Ryan Shaw creates comics, don't you, I, the guy? One of my favorite parts about being an author is getting to work with an illustrator. I'll never forget the time I got to work with Ryan to create You, I, the guy. You probably don't remember, but I had to tell him exactly what you looked like in my head. And believe me, you didn't come out perfect the first time. You weren't even orange. Hey, I wonder if the kids at home would want to see some of the very first sketches and versions of You, I, the guy. What do you say? Let's do it. You were all different kinds of colors. I still like you best in light orange though. You used to only have that one tooth too. But look at you now. There's a lot of work that goes into a simple letter I. Well, that was fun. Now it's time for a special announcement from our iWRITE Youth Club members who are doing some amazing things.
Hi, we hope that all of you watching at home are finding the time to write. We are so excited to announce the release of the first edition of the iWriter, a magazine written, designed, and published by kids for kids through the iWRITE organization. Our editors and columnists have one thing in common. We love to write.
Our magazine comes out once a quarter, so 4 times a year. Each magazine includes fiction and non-fiction pieces, stories, poems, and updates on what a youth club is up to and how you can get involved. This season's edition focuses on the coronavirus through the eyes of our generation.
Even though we aren't adults yet, it's still important for us to get our thoughts and ideas out in the world, especially during a time like this. That's what the iWriter is for, to give kids the chance to write about topics they're interested in and to share those ideas with other kids their age.
We hope that you will enjoy our first edition of the iWriter. You can check it out at iWrite.org. You can also visit our youth club's website too. We would love for you to get involved virtually around the Houston area. Who knows, maybe you might be one of the next columnists at the magazine.
If you're creative and want to share your work with people all around the world, then you're in luck. You can win the chance to have your writing or artwork professionally published in a book by entering the iWRITE nonprofit organization's annual publishing contest. Show off your talent and inspire kids like you to go above and beyond. Winners will have their writing or artwork featured in our latest book. So, how do you enter? Write a short story, poem, or create cover art focusing on this year's contest theme, outer space. Then, visit our website and upload your submission. Students in the 3rd through 12th grades are eligible to enter. Visit iWRITE.org for more details.
Now it's time to hear from one of our young published authors. And get this, she was only in 3rd grade when she wrote this story. Now be sure to have a pencil and paper in hand, because when she's finished, we're gonna come up with our own ending to her story.
Hello, so I'm Natalia Varela, and I'll be reading my short story called Cindy and the Deathly Spider. So I wrote this short story, to just let everybody know that their fear can never get in the way. Don't let it get to you in something that you love doing. There once was a 10-year-old girl from Mexico named Cindy. She recently moved to Sydney, Australia. She didn't look like anyone else. She was a Mexican girl with long pink straight hair who loved spicy ramen. Some days she dressed like a tomboy and some days she wore girly dresses. Cindy was adventurous through and through. Best of all, she had a close friend named Nia. She was a special doll who could talk. It was clear that Cindy wasn't your average student. Nobody knew she was a superhero. Cindy was great at drawing, and she could make her drawings come to life with her magic pencil. She used this power for good. Cindy had been to every city, fighting villains all around the world. She fought the dangerous Mrs. Cliffhanger and saved the boss full of people from falling off the Grand Canyon. In New York, she rescued a cute little dog who was stuck on the Statue of Liberty. Cindy had also been to Atlantica, where she helped mermaids escape from an evil sea witch. She was so incredibly amazing, but she had one weakness. Superhero Cindy was afraid of spiders. To paint a better picture, we must travel back in time. The year was 2016. Cindy had just finished an easy battle in Paris, France. All her good feelings disappeared when she saw an enormous spider in front of the Eiffel Tower. Cindy was petrified. The spider she saw looked about 500 meters tall and was bigger than the Eiffel Tower. With a dark smirk, he attacked people by shooting spiderwebs all over the city. "Hey, what are you doing trashing the city?" shouted Cindy with all of her courage in her body. The spider crackled in response. "I'm now the ruler of France. I'm Mr. France, and I will do whatever I want." He got so close to Cindy that she became anxious and froze. He was the only villain she could not defeat. For years, Cindy lost to Mr. France. Cindy felt devastated. Cindy repeatedly said, "It's my fault he ran away. I was anxious and I froze. All because of my fear of spiders." A few years later, the French spider appeared in Cindy's home city. Mr. France had arrived in Sydney. Cindy heard a very loud crash outside her house. Beep, clang, boom. Cindy decided to go outside with Mia and saw what was happening. So that's all I'm going to read, but I just want to end off the video by saying I love the iWRITE organization so much because they give an opportunity to many people and students a chance to get published. I think that's amazing.
Thank you, Natalia. How do you at home think the story ended? I love getting to write alternate endings to other people's stories. All right, I the guy, before we jump to the ending, let's go ahead and go over what happens in each section of the story. In the beginning, we know that we need to include the main character, the setting, and we need to introduce the beginning of the problem. In the middle, that's where all the action takes place. We also develop the secondary characters a little bit more, and we get to build up to the big problem, otherwise known as the climax. the climax always takes place near the end. This is also where we get to see the resolution and we get to see what lesson the character learned at the very end, which means we, the readers, learn a lesson too. Now let's summarize Natalia's story really quick. We know that Sydney is the main character and she lives in Sydney, Australia. So that's the setting. Does anybody know what iconic building you can find in Sydney, Australia? That's right, the Sydney Opera House. Now, what do we already know about her problem? Well, we know that she has a fear of spiders. Yuck. Now let's jump over to the middle. We already know that Cindy has a special talent. Her drawings could come to life and she used this power to save others from danger all over the world. We got to dive straight into the action on some of her adventures. Now, what about the secondary characters? We know she has a sidekick, Mia the dog, and there's a villain in the story, Mr. France, the spider who is trashing the city with spider webs. That sounds like a problem if you ask me. Did you notice Natalia stopped reading the story right after she told us about the climax? Mr. France the spider arrived in Sydney with a crash and a boom. Now that was pretty clever of her. Hey, you're right, I the guy. Cindy is gonna have to use her magic pencil to resolve this big problem. So what do we do now? We brainstorm. Hey, I the guy, what's up with your head? Oh, I get it. It's a brainstorm. Great. Well then, let's brainstorm some alternate endings. What have you got? She could move away. Well, I mean, she doesn't really have to use her magic pencil for that. Do you have anything else? Okay, she could draw a plane so she could fly away. I see where you're going with this. There's got to be a better way for her to solve this problem, though, as the hero in the story. What else could she draw with her magic pencil? A huge spider web to catch Mr. France. Now we're getting somewhere. Hey, what if we read up on what Natalia used to solve the problem in her story? It looks like she used bug spray. Great idea. I can already see the climax on the top of the Sydney Opera House. Let's read up a little bit more on how she ended her story. For her resolution, she says that Cindy drew a big bug spray bottle and brought it to life. The brand, Spider Fighter, was the strongest bug spray she could draw. When she sprayed it, Mr. France fainted. She defeated him. Let's see what kind of lesson we learned at the end. Cindy learned that by not letting your fears control you, you can do great things. You can be the hero you were meant to be. Now that sounds like some great character change by the end of the story. All right, I the guy, it's time for our last surprise. I hope that everybody at home has been keeping up with the surprise pop-up I the guys, because we'll be revealing that number at the very end. Our next author wrote a story all about wishes. In this book, The Yellow Butterfly. I hope that she inspires all of you at home to be thinking about what you would wish for. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a chance for you to send in your wishes.
Hi, I'm Mehrnaz Gill, author of The Yellow Butterfly. Let's read the story. One beautiful sunny summer day, Bobby and Susie were playing hide and seek. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, counted Susie. Bobby ran behind a large tree next to the red rose bushes. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ready or not, here I come. Susie turned around to look for Bobby, and she saw an amazing sight. A yellow butterfly perched on a red rose, singing a beautiful tune. A butterfly that sings, how can that be? Butterflies don't sing, said Susie. She spotted Bobby peeking from behind the tree. She wanted to call out his name, but she was afraid she would scare the yellow butterfly away. So she motioned to him and pointed to the yellow butterfly. Bobby joined Susie and they walked quietly toward the yellow butterfly. When they got close to the red rose bushes, the butterfly stopped singing and flew away. They couldn't believe what they had seen. A singing butterfly, how can that be? That night at dinner, Grandfather asked how they had spent their day. Bobby and Susie told them about the singing butterfly. How can that be, Grandfather? They asked. Well, a yellow butterfly is magical, he explained. There is a legend passed down to me by my grandparents. Long ago, the Sun King and Queen collected yellow butterflies in their golden palace. They told their wise men to use their secret wisdom to train the butterflies to spread warmth and love. Ever since then, yellow butterflies have traveled around the world to grant wishes. Wishes, Bobby and Susie exclaimed. Grandfather looked at them with a twinkle in his eyes. He went on to say, but the wish has to come from your heart. Bobby and Susie grinned at each other. Bobby said, if we catch the yellow butterfly, she will grant us both a wish. What would you wish for? Asked her mom. I would wish for a room full of ice cream, said Bobby. I have a better wish, said Susie. I would ask for a giant princess castle with lots of dolls. Everyone laughed. You can dream about your wishes tonight, their daddy said. Bob and Susie had a hard time sleeping that night in their cozy beds. When they closed their eyes, they saw magical yellow butterflies flitting around and their heads filled with wishes. The next morning, they made plans to capture the butterfly. We need a butterfly net, they said. We don't want to scare her away, said Susie. We won't hurt her, said Bobby. Bobby and Susie waited all day in their backyard. They waited the next day and the day after too. On the fourth day, they gave up. The magical yellow butterfly was not coming back. Their mom told them to find a new game to play, but nothing sounded fun. Not hopscotch, not scooters, or jump rope. They gathered their toys and walked around to the house. To their surprise, they saw the yellow butterfly. She flitted to the top of the red rose bushes and began to sing a beautiful song. Slowly, they approached her. Hi, I'm Susie. This is my brother Bobby, Susie said softly. We really like your singing. The butterfly seemed so happy and peaceful. Bobby motioned to Susie to keep talking as he crept closer. The yellow butterfly continued to sing her beautiful song. Bobby raised the net he was holding and dropped it on top of the butterfly. She stopped singing. She's trying to escape, said Susie. She looks upset. What should we do? Butterfly, said Bobby. We won't hurt you. We heard about your magical powers. Can you please grant us a wish? The yellow butterfly kept flying around the net. Please just grant us a wish and we'll let you go, said Bobby. Bobby, stop. We are going to hurt her if she stays in the net, said Susie. Let her go. If we let her go, we will never get our wish, said Bobby. And he held the handle of the net more firmly. Then I wish for the yellow butterfly to be free. She is too sad to sing, cried Susie. Bobby lifted up the net to free the butterfly, but she did not fly away. She moved her wings gently and spoke in a voice as sweet as her song. The yellow butterfly said, You wish from your heart, Susie. Now I will grant you both a wish. Susie's eyes filled with a twinkle of hope. Bobby smiled at her. This was their big chance. What would they wish for? Well, we're not sure what they would wish for, but next time you're out and you see a yellow butterfly, you know that they're magical. And you know if you make a wish and the wish comes from your heart, your wishes will be given wings and they will come true.
What did you wish for, I the guy? I think we can make that happen. Everyone at home, you have a chance to send your wish to the author of The Yellow Butterfly and I the Guy. All you have to do is email itheguy@iwrite.org. And who knows, maybe you'll get a message back. Look what time it is. Time to play I Spy I the Guy. How many surprise I the Guys did you see? The correct number is 5. I can't believe it is already time to go. Time flies when you're learning and having fun. But until next time, everyone at home, keep reading, writing, and drawing, and we will see you next week. Bye.